Welcome to Nearing Nirvana. This is episode 115 of Long Story Short. So, how's everyone's week going?
Yeah, glad to be back. The rumors weren't true. We didn't get canceled. We should have been by now, but we didn't. Now happy to be back. Too much traveling last couple of weeks, but glad to be back doing the show. And what I'm excited about is this is not a joke. There's a show that they do about an hour from me on Saturday in April every year, and everybody says like it's like the second best show in this area. Like it's an old school, like blow your mind comic show. And I've been trying to go for 15 years, and I've had something to do on Saturday for 15 years.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
I shit you not, because I was coaching so much soccer for the kids, and they always played on Saturdays. I mean, that was really what it was. I'm not doing that anymore, so I'm going on Saturday morning for the first time in like 15 years or hearing about this show. So we will see. We will see. I hope it lives up to the hype, because if it doesn't, I'm going to be pissed off. Lord Tatman, what's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. Hope all's well.
Lord Tatman.
We came out of retirement just for that super chat, you know.
And now we're folding it back up.
Yeah. But next week I will be at C2E2, and I'm actually leaving on Thursday. So we'll discuss that afterwards to see what the best thing to do is. So
we'll figure something out.
But hopefully you're already liked and subscribed to the channel. So we appreciate all those thumbs up, and thank you for subscribing. So, but hit those bells for notifications. So anytime any of the other great content that's on this channel goes on. And big shout out to our sponsors over at Cover Price. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And you can use the code Nirvana for a 10% discount off their website.
All right. Well, I guess without further ado, we can just get into the show.
Hiatus. The show was on hiatus.
Unintentional, but
Mr. Longshort was on sabbatical.
Nimesh, you're gonna be at C2E2? Yes, hit me up on Instagram. Because I know I'll be with my brother, but he has a bunch of stuff planned, and I have nothing planned. So that's how I go to every con. I don't plan a lot. I haven't even looked up a lot of stuff. I mean, I kind of looked at what artists are going to be there because I'm going to be looking for OA, but that's me. Oh, Cosmic One has a question for Burstnot. Were you upset about a toy show that let a select few have at the goods the night before? Was that the Great Ohio Toy Show?
Well, I don't want to say I was upset at it, but I won't be going back to the Great Ohio Toy Show.
I mean, but that tends to happen at comic shows too, that people get to, all the dealers like kind of like wheel and deal with each other before the show even opens.
I mean, when it's an entire night before, like I understand, because here's the thing. I understand when they do it like that morning that it starts. All right, fine, whatever. But when it's like a whole day and it's people that aren't setting up, you know what I'm saying?
Get access to that.
Yeah.
So you have to be like in the know or whatever. Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't be going back there.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's see what we have for our first book.
All right, let's get into it. All right. I just threw this on here because it doesn't feel like a Marvel comic. I mean, you got the Human Torch about ready to come through the window, but anyways, this is Marvel Mystery Comics number 87. Ken Bald probably did this cover. He's credited with the art in the book. Kind of looks like him for sure. Timely 1948. That freaking date again, 48 and 52. There's too many books from those dates on this show. And 9.2 sold for $5,200, which seems like a pretty good deal, to be honest with you, for a 9.2. 9.4 is the highest grade in this, and there's 2 of them. Sorry, I shouldn't have put 2. There's 69 in the census. No 9/8. Yeah, this is if you read the text, she's basically being forced to marry this gangster, and it's a very crime feel that you don't always get from Marvel Comics. So something about this one I like.
This is if it weren't for the Human Torch back there, you'd think it were like Crime Doesn't Pay.
Yeah.
Or or Lawbreakers or something like that.
Yeah, well, one of those. So, and none of the other books in this series have this vibe really, because it's Human Torch is usually featured pretty prominently.
Oh man, look at all that ankle.
Gams is Gams.
There's 2 sets. There's even some in the background.
Yeah, she ain't looking bad either. We see you.
No, man, I would I'd happily buy this book at the right price. And $5,300, I don't know, just seems for a book in that high grade seems, I don't know, it feels like they should go for more maybe, but
that was also, I mean, that was also pandemic time. I don't feel like Golden Age really had that launch that like.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Golden Age has done better recently, but yeah, during that 21, 22, it was all modern that was going nuts. So
yeah, well, even Copper and all that too. So I would say silver is kind of like where the cutoff was somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Have we ever talked about this book? I've wanted to, but anyways, this is a weird one. So this is Adventure Crime Comics number 25. This is a reprint of Phantom Lady 17. And there's no event, like, I don't believe there's any other Adventure Crime Comics numbered anywhere. They just like put this out at number 25.
I remember talking about that part. I don't remember this cover.
So, but anyways, yeah, it's a Phantom Lady. I mean, if I'm being honest, this is a book I desperately want, and coincidentally, one just sold on Heritage, not recently. I'm like, how the hell did I miss that? But is it just me, or does it look like she's kind of farting to propel herself in the air there?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought. I was excited to see Joe on the show tonight to see what he had to say about this cover.
He would hold his nose while saying "Mama."
We'll have to show it to him another time. But yeah, this is an obscurity. It looks like it was from London, so it was like a foreign reprint of that. But this book doesn't show up very often at all.
How much did that Heritage?
I think it was for 500 raw.
Oh, 500 raw. Okay, respectable.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you should do? You should message the person that bought it. Because you can do that on Heritage.
Yeah, I think I saw this actually. Like they've enabled where you can send them an offer above a certain price.
Yeah, so you might consider doing that. I mean, I wouldn't pay like much more than what they had said, but I mean, I understand like because it's through Heritage, they got to take all their cut and all that.
I mean, the funny thing is these aren't even the Phantom Lady colors, right? They have her on all red. She's usually in blue, but. Anyways,
it's like her farts have her out of control.
Yeah, she can.
Dude, she's farting through the wall. Look at that, or that yellow blanket or whatever it is that's hanging out the window.
Yeah, she must have been had a big bean supper before she went out and fought some crime. So
that's what happens when you eat that Taco Bell late night.
The toots.
All right. This book is a riot. If you can read the text, it's a hoot. But Hickory number 3 from Quality Comics in 1950. Harry Sale, solid. I think I'd say that cover. A 4.0 sold back in 23. Not a lot of sales in this book at all. For about $700. Only 11 of these on the census. And you got in a high grade of 9.6, which is impressive. You got to give her some credit for going skiing in such an outfit. It's not what you think about when you go skiing. But the text says, I can't even read it. I'm so freaking. Can you read it? Can you guys?
Yeah, let me pull it up on. Think she'll make it, Hickory? Don't you think so, Paul? She's too doggone fat.
She's talking about the cow in the back, but man, these are the kind of books that I just get suckered into buying when I see them at shows. They're usually not asking that much for them, and they take my money.
Usually a good skiing or ice skating cover.
Yeah,
this counts. And you gotta keep these hoes humble.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, she's out skiing looking to catch some eyes, I think, if you're gonna wear that. So
I'm gonna humble you.
Most girls wouldn't wear that to the beach. All right, next.
Sandusky, you're only one book behind, so that this was book 3.
All right, I just threw this one on here because I found this thing. I didn't figure out there's an empty bill up there because I meant to put the artist on there, but I didn't get around to it, so excuse that. But Nellie the Nurse, number 16. I was in Richmond, Virginia, and I was at a shop, and they had this for $30. It was a little beat up, but these Nellies, I'm a big fan of them. An 8.0 sold this for $516 in 2023. Only 3 of these on the census, and I don't believe there's any of these listed on eBay. Not saying it's like rare, but it just doesn't. There's not a lot of them out there for whatever reason.
All right, and Blind Adam, what's happening is you have a woman with red hair on the far left screaming at her significant other that's apparently laying over a barrel that's, I'm guessing he did the barrel jump, right? And then he's being rescued by a lifeguard. And then she's saying, "Oh, this is the way you spend your time." And you told me you were going in swimming.
Yeah, and the lifeguard, as you imagine, is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Hey, that store in Richmond, did it have a dedicated Golden Age section?
No, it was not the greatest store of all time, to be honest with you. But I was looking through some stuff. I thought I was going to come out empty-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, "Hey, I've got a couple of boxes on the counter from a collection I just bought. If you want to go through them."
Oh my gosh!
And so they had like 4 or 5 Golden Age. I mean, I posted this one. I got this Baker too.
Mm-hmm.
They got pulled that out of there for, I think that was 30 and this was 40 for the Baker. So he had a few Golden Agers in there, but nothing crazy. He didn't have a whole section. Okay. There was just some in the back of one of he had 3 short boxes, and there was a couple of these in the back. I grabbed the Nellie and the Wartime Romances.
So you were at the right place at the right time.
Apparently I wasn't. He said that he had a bunch of EC stuff, like I don't think anybody just wanted these, but he said like there was in that collection there was a bunch of EC stuff that got gobbled up pretty quickly. Some other stuff. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they were literally the last 2 in the back of the box, and I was happy to grab them. So, talking them down a little bit. So, all right, we can't have a long story short without some Matt Baker. Pictorial Romances, number 17, St. John Publishing, 1952. An 8.0 of this sold in 2019 for $3,500. Given how hot Matt Baker is, I would imagine it would go for a lot more now. 23 on the census, 09.8s. And these books, if you've ever seen them, they're thick. They're like 100 pages. So they got that sort of square bound, but yeah, this one is they're kind of a roll in the hay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's her boyfriend there or what with the horse, but looks like he's about to whoop some ass.
Somebody gonna die.
Justin, I don't know how many did, but it's several hundred, I would say. Or a few hundred, maybe is a better way to put it. But yeah, I like the colors on this one. This is a sort of classic Matt Baker.
Mm-hmm. I'd be afraid of what it goes for now.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to go easy $5,000, I would think, in an 8.0 for this.
Oh man! Oh god! No! Man!
More?
Shit! I would dare say, and I mean dare say 10.
Wow!
In an 8.
Wow! Yeah.
But that's just me.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Some of the Baker stuff I've bid on recently, lower grade stuff is 2x what I thought it would go for. So yeah.
Yeah, this cover is as racy as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Carter. I was watching your pickup show and put this one on the show for you.
Yeah, so this is Ninjak number 1. I forget what series this is from. I think this is the second Ninjak series.
I think it might be the third. Wasn't there one in
it kept rebooting. I know, because there was one I think in 2012. And yeah, like you said, maybe another one in 2013. You know what I'm saying?
I think they did another one right on the back of this one too, like when this one ran. So
okay, so this is a Marguerite Sauvage variant, and who is that? Is that Roku?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean she was all over the series. So
yeah, in the outline, and we've talked about Roku before. There's an actual Roku variant that I think we've talked about.
There's a lot of Roku variants. We're actually going to talk about another one after this book. Yeah, but this is a stunning book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found this for $1 a few weeks ago, and I'm just like, this cover is great, well rendered, great colors on it, simple, elegant, and tasteful. And so, yeah, man, great. Love this.
Yeah, really good. Now, this series has some great books to hunt for. I could have posted a whole show to honestly. There's so many of them, but there's a bunch of Aregi variants. You know, he recently passed. If you don't mind going to the next one, Aaron.
I'll have to contact Dinesh to see if he wants to join that show.
Yeah, he could run the show, but he did at least 3 1-in-20s for this. They don't sell that often, but there's something I really like about this one. Just
I don't know if I have this or not.
I mean, there's a lot of variants all the way through, like to the end of this run.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, these Reggies I think are definitely good looking books.
Okay, so that Ninjak number 1 from 2015, that is the first appearance of Roku that I'm seeing.
Oh wow!
So there's her first appearance.
Yeah, she's all over the covers of this series. Like she's heavily featured.
Rokus were invented in 2002, though. Actually, I have no idea what year that is.
I figured you might have this, Carter.
I can't remember because I know I've seen this cover, but I don't remember if I actually have it or not. You know,
it doesn't go for a crazy amount, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All of his covers on this, they were all 1 in 20s, I believe. And like there's 3 or 4 of them. They're all pretty cool.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, this book is a true ghost. Most of like the databases don't even have this book in there. So this is Afterlife with Archie, number 8, an Andrew Pepoy variant from 2016. Yeah, this book doesn't show its head that often, but 100% one of those books that I think you could find that falls through the cracks because people don't know what they have.
Oh,
I think I saw a raw sale of this maybe for like 100 or 150 not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think I've ever seen this cover before.
I don't believe like my comic shop has it.
I like looking through the modern Archie cover sections when they have them.
It's worth it, and I joke all the time that like if you had to like rebuild your collection from scratch and you needed to flip some books, you started with $100. Just go to the Archies. Like you can find for dollars, $15 and $20 books all day long in the Archie section. So
yeah, in the dollar section, that's where I found the hashtag Team Betty.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
yeah.
that you can just pull out of there, and and flip for quick flips.
Adam Hughes' Death of Archie books. Those usually do pretty good. You can find them pretty cheap too. I don't know.
Yeah, but this keep your eyes open for this one when you're on the hunt. This would be a good one to grab.
I could be wrong, but I believe I've asked Pep Boy about this. If it was published, or is that the kind of question? Oh, I don't think this was ever published.
You don't think this was ever published?
But that doesn't. I mean, sometimes like there's those copies that still leak out, right?
I mean, I've seen a sale of this, so I mean, maybe it leaked out or something like that. But I've seen I've seen sales of this.
Afterlife with Archie, number 8, Adam, zombie chair holder holding Archie's. Oh. Alrighty.
All right. I love stirring up controversy. So the Man of Steel is considered by virtually everybody the first variant cover. So the Superman Man of Steel that came out in '86, October of '86. This is the Adventurers number 1. This is a cover B. It came out in August of '86, so before that book. So this is arguably one of the first variant covers. By anything I can find, it definitely beats out that Man of Steel book that everybody credits as the first variant. So this is a Peter Sue cover B by Aircell Publishing in 1986. 9/8 of this sold for $140, about a year ago. And there's 14 9/8 in the census, 28 in total. But this series was definitely ahead of its time because this is the variant. This was limited. This was a limited print run. They don't say to what, but this was definitely harder to get. If you go to the next slide, this is the cover A. This was the open order. And then they had a second print with a different cover. So these were not things that they were doing back in '86 regularly. This has become sort of a modern thing. Usually reprints were just reprinting the original cover back in this time period. This second print doesn't go for a whole heck of a lot, but that cover B is an interesting novelty because I really do think it's the first variant. Now, maybe because it's not a mainstream comic, people don't count it. But at least it's, I'm not even going to say it's the first. It's earlier than the book that gets credit for
That should have been a flip book
it.
by those standards.
But yeah, I was surprised to see that this this pattern of having a variant or a second print with a new cover. These guys were ahead of their time, apparently.
Apparently, James Kreider has all 3.
Nice. Not surprised, James. Good pickups. All right. This is a book that just seems to continue to do well. This is the From Dusk Till Dawn movie adaptation. Dan Brereton cover from Big Entertainment in 1996. A 9.8 last sold year and a half ago for $300, which is respectable. Only 11 9/8 of this on the census, which is low. 40 total graded, and of that 40, 27 are signed. I love this movie. I don't have this book, but I've been wanting one.
Oh, please tell me one of the signature series books is a Selma Hayek signed book.
Yeah, Juliette Lewis maybe, or QT. I don't know who, honestly. But,
wait, Tarantino could sign this too, huh?
Yeah. This movie was awesome.
Oh, I wonder if it's a Robert Rodriguez signature too.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know who did sign them.
Yeah. I mean, you could always go for the obvious answer is probably the artist, the cover artist, right? Probably is a majority of that, but because celebrities do sign comics, right? At some point in time.
This one feels like, to me, it would be like a celebrity signature on this thing.
Yeah. I feel like I talked about this book not too long ago, but it could have been that sell in 2023 where it was it made it to the almost 10 or something like that.
Yeah,
Or market
report.
report.
I don't think we ever had it on the show before, but you do a lot of shows, Aaron, so it could have come up.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track nowadays. Yeah. At the same time, I probably, or it could have just been as simple as it was in a group chat and someone was talking.
They've got a variant of this, which is all photos, but it's just in squares. It looks like shit. Looks like shit.
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen it was this cover because because this looks like the movie poster, right? Or the box cover for
yeah. Like I mean, this was the cover of the VHS, wasn't it, or something like this?
Yeah, I want to say, isn't that what it kind of looks like? I'll look it up right now. Dusk Till Dawn. Images.
Adam, who did you get yours autographed by? Just out of curiosity.
This art was prior to the. Oh, so this art was done prior to the film's release as the cover to the comic book adaptation, according to someone on Instagram. Oh, Dan Breton, the illustrator.
Okay.
Here, I will share the screen so we can see what the artist himself has to say about this book. All right, From Dusk Till Dawn. This art was done prior to the film's release as a cover to the comic book adaptation, R.I.P. Takano, a movie after my own heart, mashing together crime and monsters.
That's cool. It's very cool. All right. We've talked about these classic Popeye IDWs many times, but this was from from Carlos, Re-Up Hunter on Instagram. We talked about him last week or the week before. We talked about this book, Wolf and Batsy. I bought this from him in the show. I've known him for a while. He's a cool guy in the community, and he said thank you for the shout out. And I got another book to throw on, so this is it. So hope you're watching, buddy. Hope all's well. I'll see you on Saturday in that show up in New Hampshire. But
were we supposed to do a giveaway, or is that a different show I'm on?
We probably should have done a giveaway. Like we've been off, we've been MIA for so long. We probably should have given something away, but I wasn't prepared to do anything. So
okay, I think it was the House of
what we
Slime.
can do is if you leave a comment on the rewind, we'll give something. We'll give something, a mystery book away.
No, I'll pick something at C2E2. I'll pick up something at C2E2, and then that way, if y'all end up not doing a show next week, we can give it away live. The following. When I get back in town.
Aaron's gonna grab something at C2E2, and we're gonna give it away whether we do a show next week or not when he gets back.
Yeah. So
all right. So yeah, listen, all of these Popeye 1 in 10 ratio variants from this series are worth grabbing at this point. They're all super short ordered, and these all go for something. So, I was an idiot. I was at a show, and a guy had probably 7 or 8 of them, and I didn't buy any of them, and he was probably asking $35 a piece. So probably would have been worth grabbing.
So this is obviously a homage to Ratfink, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely has those vibes.
Like, I mean, that looks pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Like same angle and all that. I mean, this for sure, right? I feel like if you compare the two. This looks like a Big Leg book, in my opinion.
Well, Big Leg was the first person I know talking about these Popeye books. So
yeah.
All right, just a Gambit and Rogue cover. People seem to want to collect these. This book doesn't necessarily go for a lot, although I'm surprised there's not more copies graded of this book, just given what it is. It's a Mike Choi 1 in 15, 7 on the census, 6 and 9.8, and Channing Tatum was just announced that he's going to be in the Doomsday movie. I'd expect we're going to see Gambit on the big screen for many years to come. And if he's there, I can't imagine Rogue's that far behind. It's funny. I've never had this book.
Me neither. I don't think I've ever noticed it, really. Like, I mean, I know the cover exists, but I just never.
I don't recall ever seeing it like out on the hunt or anything. Like, I just don't. If I did, I might have just looked right by it or something. But
it's because you always see those heroic age trade dress books or whatever, and you just kind of pass through it because it's always a book that you've always seen.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So I feel like this is something that you could easily pass through and not realize what it was.
Adam, congrats on the Robert Rodriguez autograph. That's pretty cool, man.
Oh, on the
yeah,
he has that
wrestled on. He was saying, yeah.
Oh hell yeah! See, I knew someone out there had like-minded or found the opportunity. So I'm glad it was Adam.
Yeah. All right, I just threw this book on here because everybody's going crazy about that Suspiria book from Profane, I believe, number 2.
4.
Okay. This one kind of has similar vibes. Doesn't go for anything, but if you like that vibe. She doesn't have red hair, but this was the cover A, but there's a 1 in 20 virgin variant that's good looking. So it's Tim Bradstreet who did this. Dynamite from 2011. Obviously, this is Jennifer Blood number 9.
Good luck on finding that.
Yeah, that was before Dynamite was overprinting things. So
right, but I feel like still a 1 in 20. I don't. I'm sure I looked
when
it
this
up.
pops up, it doesn't go for a lot, but it doesn't. It's not. At least the last time I looked, it wasn't plentiful.
No.
But if you just like the image, the cover A is the same thing. It's just with the trade dress. All right. Have we ever talked about this book?
No.
I don't think we have. Which I'm kind of surprised we haven't, but whatever. I guess we'll get to them all at some point. So Age of Ultron number 10. This is the Joe Quesada 1/100 variant featuring Angela. There is a color version of this one as well. That's a 1 in 50, if I'm not mistaken. This is the first cameo appearance, because she's only on the last page, of Angela in the Marvel Comics. There was that whole debacle with McFarlane and it was Gaiman, right, who wrote this?
Gaiman and McFarlane. They teamed up to create her, right?
Yeah, they in obviously in Spawn number 9, but he ended up getting the rights when it was all said and done. It was kind of a shit show.
I wonder how.
I had read the story before. I forget. I think it was really. I think it came down to the character was his idea, and McFarlane just drew her. So, so 9/8 sold recently for $200 of this, which is interesting because I probably would have snagged it for $200.
Yeah.
The high on this was almost 800 back in the golden days of comic speculation from 2021, November 2021. Only 107 of these on the census, which is not a lot for a modern book. 94 though, or 9/8, so the vast majority, and a respectable 26 are signature series.
All Quesada.
I would imagine all Quesada.
Probably. I have this book. I have the color.
Nice.
Are they graded or you have them raw?
The color is bagged still because they come bagged.
Yeah, they come with a black bag and it says the artist on them.
Yeah, and it'll say Angela variant, and then the black and white, if it's still bagged. Now mine isn't bagged, but that's okay. But if it does come back, it'll say Angela variant, like sketch.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't find these bagged very much anymore.
Oh my god. Do you remember when this character, like when I think the news came out like probably 2012, 2013, when this character was going to be entering the Marvel universe?
Like all the hype around it when she was making the move over.
Yeah, and all those Spawn 9s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like just like jumped up, and then he's like, "Oh no, you got to find the newsstand at the very least."
Yeah.
Well, I think the book that's probably underrated for her is her second appearance was in that Angela 1 miniseries from Image. And you can get those in Newsies, so I think those are probably worth grabbing as well. If you can get your hands on one of them, and then her first full appearance was in Guardians of the Galaxy number 5, and those books went crazy too for a period.
All those Angela rumors.
Yeah. All right. Some Street Fighter. I just put this on here because, there was just the Ickpot book that went crazy that we had talked about on the show late last year,
Oh, the
and I
wedding
think it's
dress
just
one.
starting to get into people's hands. This was a similar thing, right? Where there's this version, and if you go to the next one, Aaron, if you don't mind, there's the bride in white and black. So I didn't realize they'd sort of played the same game again back in 2019. But these Street Fighter books, they always surprise me how well they sell. Right, so a 9.8 of this sold for $235, which is respectable, and then for the other one, $305. And I think I saw a raw thing of this sell for like $200 recently. But you shouldn't be sleeping on these. If Rob is in the chat, or if he was here, he would probably tell us a hell of a lot more of these. But this was from focusattack.com. You had to order these from. Yeah, man, don't sleep on the Street Fighter stuff, man. It really has a big following, and these books command a respectable amount.
I talked about this on Hot Book Alert Live a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Or this one.
The red and black. Yeah.
Was it? So I only was it one of the ones like the last 2 weeks when I was off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I watched. I watched the most recent one, but the first one I hadn't seen. It must have been on that one because I haven't watched that one.
Because that one goes for a lot. Let me see if I can find what it was selling for. But yeah, 300 for a 9.8. That's like dirt cheap.
That was way back in 23. So
yeah. So okay, yeah. So raw copies are selling for like 300.
Okay, yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow.
I wonder if it's the more recent one that just breathed some life into this one. The one that came out, the Ickpot one.
Oh, you know what?
That was Ickpot's best cover.
Yeah, I came across just yesterday like a bunch of like Street Fighter udons. I'm like, these are great covers, and they don't go for anything.
It's weird which ones go for.
Yeah.
The ratios always seem to sell, no matter what they are, seem to be respectable, and then the limited releases, go for respectable amounts. But I like it seems like any of the open order stuff like doesn't do much.
Yeah, and you remember the series G.I. Joe versus Street Fighter?
Oh yeah.
And like those variants don't go for anything.
Oh, yeah, I even found the G.I. Joe versus Street Fighter. I found the incentives like in the back issue bin, and it was like less than cover price for each book.
Yeah,
like in there, and those are all 1-in-10 IDW ratios, and on top of that, it's a connecting cover set of Street Fighter 2. So you would think that with all those combinations, it would have been a super combo,
right?
Or like an ultra combo or whatever, like where it's just like it checks a lot of boxes, like nostalgia, like IDW ratio, like I don't know what else more you want. Right?
I know, man. It's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I get it too. It's connecting covers. Like not everyone likes that, but I kind of like it.
And her calves, man, you don't want to get kicked by her, man. You're done. So, anyways,
she can crush my head. It's okay.
Use those size as earmuffs.
All right, here's another book that I swore we talked about on the show. I looked through the slides. I could not find anything on it. So we're going to talk about it now. There's not a lot to say. I bought this set of books on a whim. I talked about it in the chat a couple years ago. And I'm like, there was one limited to 25, one limited to 50, one limited to 100, I want to say. So the trade dress was like 100. There was like a a virgin that was for 50, and then like a foil that was for 25. And this is before Will Jack had like anybody knew who he was. There was just something about this that I thought was pretty cool. And now Will Jack, shit, man, it sells out. Like his releases on his website, like they're sold out in seconds, right? In literal seconds.
His Pop Kills #1 didn't sell out that fast, which I was kind of shocked, right? Like I was able to get in.
That was the one, but that sold out pretty damn quick though. That sold out in like a minute.
It's still sold. I said I got in within 5 minutes and still was able to check out fine. And really? I checked on it again. The issue 2 though, that sold out in minutes. Like that sold out like crazy.
I was in there when it dropped, and it was in my cart within 10 seconds, and it was sold out.
Yeah. So I recently got in my issue 1, and like I posted it on Instagram, and I already got like before I even got listed it on eBay, I was getting messages like, "Hey, can you hold me a set? Hold me a set?" Like blah blah blah. And then I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, I think I held a set aside for like one person, and then and I listed the other 2 sets I had on eBay, and then like someone sent an offer, like the lowest offer I was willing to take, sold, gone. Last set on there, $150. Someone bought it. Like so, after this, I got to pack it up and ship it out.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up getting some from the most recent one of the autographs. They you know, I snagged those, but you know, whatever he marks them up, whatever he marks them up, an extra $20 a piece or something, whatever it is. But this is one of his very early works. I'm by no means claiming that this is his earliest one, but this is definitely an early work of his. And then there's another version of this one where she's got like a red suit on with a red hat.
That sounds dope.
But yeah, it's just funny when I grabbed these, I'd never heard of them. I was just like, I saw these come out, and I'm like, you know, it's like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna buy them. I'm not sure they go for anything, but given how popular he's getting, you never know.
Yeah, like when he has his, I would say, you know, he's reaching that status level, right?
I mean, I mean, some of the stuff hits, some of it doesn't. Like, not everything he does hits by any means. I mean, I guess that's the case for everybody, but the ones that do, man, they're gone. You know,
they're like out the park or whatever.
Instantly. Like, yeah. It's amazing how quickly. Well, all right. So you know, Squirrel Girl continues to thrive thanks to Marvel Rivals. This book has gone full ghost status. I think we probably talked about this one back on the Flipside days. We probably did. But I don't think there's any of these out there anywhere. So the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #3, Matthew Waite 1 in 25, 9/8 sold for $80 back in late 2023. Only 10 of these on the census, 5 and 9.8. But yeah, you know, she's starting to build a little bit of a following, and this is a tough one to get hands on. I think I've got this thing somewhere. I just don't know where. In some box somewhere.
You always send me on those like wild goose chases on these Unbeatable Squirrel Girl covers, and then like I'd never find any of the variants ever. Like, and then the places that do have it, they know what they have, and then they always want like top dollar for it. So I'm just like,
I mean, this book wasn't getting crazy orders by any means. So like the ratios on these are, you know, are tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's cool. I've found a bunch over the years. I think I've got this one somewhere, but this one is If I'm not mistaken, there's nothing on eBay out for this one.
So
No.
Is that her tail covering her mouth, or is that
No,
the
that's
squirrel's?
that's her squirrel. All right. This book just came out on Wednesday, but Alec, when I got back into comics, the Daredevil by Bendis and Malieve was like one of my favorite things, and like he was probably my favorite artist when I got back into the game. And this came out, and like I had to grab this just because it's such a callback to a couple of his other books. So if you go to the next one, so there's Punisher #1 from 2016. Similar energy for sure. This book used to go for a lot more.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But,
I remember when it came out.
Yeah, so 135 late last year. Somebody got a pretty good deal on that. December's not a bad time to buy comics if you want to get deals. There's 211 of these on the census, 161 and 9.8. But this was a classic. And then this, I always felt, was a callback to this next book, where Matt Murdock was, pretty well beaten, just sort of kicking back. So I don't know. I don't know if he's doing this intentionally, but all three of these books feels like they're sort of cut from the same cloth.
Connecting the dots.
I would love to find that Daredevil in a newsie. I've never seen one. I assume it exists because a lot of that run did, but I've never seen one. But yeah, am I just making this up, or do you think those are all kind of like similar inspiration?
No.
Yeah. It's like that artist thing, right? Where, and like a classically trained artist will take self-portraits of themselves over the years, so you can see the progression of their art style. So it's like, I feel like it's a similar kind of vibe to that.
Yeah, but if you go back to that Psylocke, I don't know. I just felt like it was a callback, and
But
it looks like she's rocking a lightsaber there, if we're being honest. But
I mean, Psylocke stuff does glow, so I mean, it makes sense.
And this is issue 6. I thought this series was like a 5-issue mini, but I guess they was selling well enough. They kept it going.
From the Marvel panel I went to in at San Diego, I think the plan was to make it an ongoing series.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I just assume Marvel does anything that comes out with like a single character that's not like is always at 5. So it's probably just my assumption that it's a 5-issue mini. But
yeah.
But this is a cover C. I want to say this wasn't the cover A.
See, Derek knows what's up. Picasso self-portraits are wild. Exactly. All right. I think that was our last book. It is. Right. So big shout out again to Cover Price. So make sure you're using the code Nerdvana for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. You can also use the code Nerdvana for a 10% discount over at Bird City Comics. If you're in the Arizona area, swing by their store. They have a brick and mortar. So, and see some familiar faces there.
Leave a comment on the rewind. Aaron is going to grab something cool at C2E2, and he's going to give a giveaway, and he's even going to post it on Instagram as soon as he finds it. So, Aaron, when you're there and you find the cool book, post it, and that'll be that'll be the giveaway when he gets back.
Yeah, I'm going to keep on asking in the group chat until we find the right book. So it's either going to be something there or something I find. We'll find out which one's best.
Igor, you want my pickups from my trip? I don't have them right nearby. I mean, the only two that I have nearby were just the Nelly that we talked about on the show, and the Wartime Romances, and these were from Richmond. And that's all I've got within arm's reach. So I post it all on IG. You've seen everything I've gotten. Maybe one or two other books. Nothing crazy. Anything cool, I posted it. So
I'm excited to go to C2E2. I haven't been to Chicago and I was thinking about it. I think it was like 2008 was the last time I went to Chicago. So it's almost been like what 20 years.
It's been a long time since I've been. It's probably been, well, that's not true. I went last year for work, but it was literally in and out within hours.
But I did enjoy my trip last time because I rode the Amtrak train from Houston to Chicago.
Oh wow, man!
How long was that?
It's like a day.
It's a day.
Yeah.
But it was like a 3-hour bus ride because like we don't have commercial trains that leave out of Houston. It's only industrial stuff, and so but I knew I wanted to see the Chicago like train station anyways because it's like all the architecture there is amazing. So and then the funny thing is, so the day I was leaving Chicago, they had their marathon. My tattoo artist that did all this work, he was supposed to be on the train leaving to like St. Louis because you travel through there. That's where the train path goes. Because he was doing residence of tattoo art at other tattoo shops throughout the country, and he was supposed to work in St. Louis for a couple weeks. But anyways, we ended up on the same train. Going back to, because I was headed back to Texas, and then I see this guy like walking up in the aisles on the train with tattoos. And I look up, I'm like Bobby, and he's like Aaron, what's up? And then we ended up sitting next to each other and like passing the time because
that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I hadn't finished my half sleep yet, so it was perfect time to like get all that done or scheduled. Alrighty. I think we will have a normal Hot 10 show tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure Joe will be back. I will not be on Modern Comic Mayhem on Saturday. I have my my band is playing a show. So we're playing with a bunch of, I found out today, we're playing with a bunch of cover bands, and then there's a burlesque show at the same event that we're playing.
Nice.
So pretty excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Hot Book Alert
live on every Sunday 9:00, and I look forward to hearing.
Dude, I felt bad that that you went solo last Sunday. I did not get back. I was driving back from Richmond. I did not get back until probably like 11.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was
okay.
late. So
okay, get us that Suspiria book. You gotta be more specific than that. Which one?
The Profane number 4, right? That's the one.
Oh, I mean, you guys got to throw in more super chats than that for me to pick that up now at this point.
Yeah, that's a big one, man.
Yeah. But I'll see what I can find. I'm pretty good. Anyways, we're gonna call it a night there. We will catch y'all next time.
Peace.